Welcome to another episode of DilSe Stories. We once again have a very special guest today, Mr. Moinak Bandyopadhyay. Did I get that right?
You did get that right.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Dr.
you.
Saad.
Uh, please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Moinak. पेशे से तो I'm a techie. I work in software, but by passion, I'm a musician. I'm a singer. I try to record a few things when I get some time. I I'm currently based in the Bay Area, but I've spent most of my childhood in India, Bombay specifically. And yeah, my music of choice is generally something with Bollywood, but always looking to hear new music, looking to meet other music lovers. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Great, thank you. And I'm Dr. Parag Bharadwaj. So tell us about your love with music. When did you, or when do you recall gravitating towards it, or was it something just natural? In India, when we grow up, there's music playing all over, all around us, right?
Right, right. So I think it was a bit of lots of musical influences at home, right? My nani used to sing really well. My nani used to sing a lot. I've spent a lot of time with my nana and nani as well. So that was the initial inspiration. My parents sing as well. My dad sings, my mom sings. Uh, so generally, I've been around music a lot. But wo jo, like getting in front of there's a barrier to cross when you actually have to sing in front of people if you're doing it in some sort of a competitive environment. तो वो पहली बार हुआ when we were in Bombay growing up. There's a big, so I'm Bengali, so there's a big sort of Durga Puja culture. And in Durga Puja, you have obviously you have the pujas, but there are also a bunch of these social activities. So वहाँ पे there was a singing competition, and one of my mom's friends, Kakuli auntie, had sort of coached me on this one song. So yeah, I performed it, and obviously didn't have that many inhibitions. I was too young to have inhibitions. So Gaia, it came out decently. Must have won something. Uh, that started the juggernaut. Uske baad I sang in some competition in school. I've grown up in Bombay, so 11th, 12th, वहाँ पे मैं junior college गया था, तो college में भी गाता था. Then my journey brought me to the States. I did my undergrad in one of the universities. Here, वहाँ पे I joined a South Asian acapella group called Taal Tadka. तो हम हिंदी गाने गाते थे, fusion करते थे with English. Everything was acapella. I've never really learned music. I've never learned instruments, गाना कुछ सीखा नहीं है. But the environment of seeing so many talented people sort of kept my energy going up, and I kept learning from a lot of people. My uncle actually has a band, has a group that he performs with all over the US. Geetanjali is the name of the group. तो वहां पे भी बहुत opportunities मिले गाने के लिए. Did not start really well, but kept learning, right? So combination of nature and nurture, if I were to summarize that.
Great. So you mentioned you didn't formally learn playing any instrument, but does that also apply to your singing as well?
Right. I haven't learned singing. कुछ भी सीखा नहीं. I think it's mostly just जो सुनता हूँ, try to replicate it. I think imitation is how it starts. Once imitation जब आ जाता है, then I try to add a little bit. अगर if I'm doing the same thing, then why would someone just listen to me? Why wouldn't they just listen to the original? So अभी जब थोड़ा जो और confidence आया, I try to give it my own interpretation, my own take. मेरा थोड़ा signature जो भी है थोड़ा करता हूँ. But सीखा नहीं है, but सीखना चाहता हूँ.
Great. So tell us, who do you tend to imitate the most? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. And what is your signature?
Uh, Look, I am not talented enough and not being enough to say that I can imitate someone successfully, but uh, I do like I gravitate towards Sonu Nigam ji's songs a lot. Abhi Mujh Mein Kahin, Ye Dil Deewana, lots that are obviously he has a long list of great ones. Arijit Singh ji. So the things that connect with me, I try to provide my own interpretations, but it all starts with, can I sing it the way, maybe it's not the exact same thing, but जो जो फील से सोनू निगम जी ने अभी मुझ में कहीं गाया था, can I channel some of that energy while I try to showcase that particular song? Well, yeah, I think it's just mostly just, I also really like listening to interviews of musicians. उनका process क्या है, behind the scenes उन लोग क्या करते हैं. I love those sets of videos to get the inspiration. How did they come up with, like, starting with nothing, but then they came up with some sort of a masterpiece? उनका क्या process है? So yeah, I think I would love to meet them in person someday if God willing, अगर लिखा हुआ है, तो I would love to meet them. I would love to just observe them. कैसे करते हैं ये? They are spreading so much joy in the world. मुझे भी सीखना है, so I can multiply that.
Very nice. And your signature? What's your signature? Is it the same? Is it something you sing, or is it like something you say?
Yeah,
What is your yeah?
I think I don't think I have a signature yet, but what people do tell me is I tend to provide my own soul to songs when I sing them. Um, the interpretations, because मैंने, I don't have any sort of concept of musical theory. मैं जो भी सीखता हूँ, it's based on a bunch of experimentation. तो कभी कभी एक्सपेरिमेंटेशंस काम करते हैं, तो मैं हर एक सॉन्ग जो भी ट्राई करता हूँ रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए, it goes through a few stages of experimentation. So I think वो लोगों को usually पसंद आता है कि ये थोड़ा अलग किया, ये थोड़ा अलग फील दिया इसमें. So I think yeah, I think a little bit of originality in any interpretation is my signature.
Very
If I
well
do it
said.
well, do I do it regularly? Probably not, but that's the goal.
No, I can attest to what you're saying because I would recommend to our audience to check out your Instagram account, and you've uploaded some reels, and there is that one song from Parinita that I just thought it was. I mean, you're saying the same words, but it sounded so different and unique, right? So yeah, I get your point. Uh, now you mentioned hoping to meet with these artists, and I do understand. So you live in the Bay Area, in and around San Francisco. Uh, a lot of artists actually tour the US. Do you go to their concerts?
Absolutely. I went to Sonu Nigam ji's concert last year. It was fantastic. I went to A.R. Rahman ji's concert last year. It was fantastic. But seeing someone from 100 feet away and actually observing them coming up with the magic, not complaining. I am fortunate enough to be in a place and have the means to be able to go to a concert like that. But jo ichha hai is to see them. Like I'm a big fan of Amit Trivedi ji as well. I would love to sit in on one of the sessions of him taking an idea and eventually coming to a state where he's composing something. Like, I think composers are like, they're creating something from nothing. I saw one of the interviews on your channel for Shantanu Ghotak. Like, that was such an interesting story. And like, he tried to compose something. It actually became really famous, got him a Filmfare nomination. That's great. मुझे उनका process भी देखना है, right? How do they do that? It's not easy. It seems easy, but it's not. So वही अच्छा है. Someday maybe it'll happen.
No, I second what you're saying because I think musicians extremely creative, and like you said, you create something from nothing, and then you spread the message through the lyrics and the music, and then you spread the joy. Very, yeah, very profound.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
tell us, what are you up to these days? What is the music scene like in the Bay Area for you?
Yeah.
And I do understand you are part of a band as well. So
Yes.
you're doing a few different things, and where exactly are you heading in the future with your love for
Yeah.
music?
So I spent some time up in Seattle. I was there for about 6, 7 years, and I used to perform with a Bengali rock band there called Brishti. So we used to sort of take Bengali music, Hindi music, English music, or we used to provide sort of rock interpretations on that. So I still perform with them. We had a concert a couple of months back. I performed with my uncle's band, Geetanjali, around the US. But locally, I have a couple of friends that we try to do some music on. We try to we're trying to sort of create small things to sort of get into, like it's an exercise, right? Like muscles ko tone kar rahe hain by doing covers. But the next step is creating something original. We're sort of trying to express something that we want to say with some tune that connects with us. So कोशिश जारी है उसमें, and then eventually we would love to start doing some local shows across the Bay Area, whether it's wedding ke gaane gaane hain, whether it's a candlelight, dim the lights, ghazals and Sufi hona hai. We are exploring multiple different avenues. But what an artist craves for is other music lovers and other musicians. बाकी तो सब देखा जाएगा. My profession is not music. My profession is something else. This is what sort of keeps me going. So if God willing, we'll create more music. We'll spread our music with more with more people here and elsewhere.
Awesome. Now, I did see some reels of you performing in front of an audience. Sometimes I think it's in the people's homes. So are those impromptu requests for you to sing, or are those scheduled events where you've been invited to perform?
Yes, it's a combination of both, right? If it's a concert setting, it's probably where I have been invited. हमने practice किया है, we go and perform there. But a lot of times it's just घर पे बैठे हैं and we're just singing. Someone requested a particular song, गा रहे हैं. I tend not to shy away from complying with a request. मेरे दोस्त ये सब जानते हैं. But any opportunity to get people going. Like maybe I'll be the one starting and breaking the ice. अगर कोई महफिल बैठी है, I would do that, not a problem. But if that turns into 10 people are singing, everyone's enjoying, it's worth it. बेसुरा क्या फर्क पड़ता है? If you've gotten the mode ki everyone's singing, everyone's enjoying themselves. Songs are also a way for people to get nostalgia. कोई गाने हम पहले सुना करते थे, उसके साथ कई स्टोरीज जुड़ी हुई हैं. So पसंद है. I like to do that. I always am looking for more opportunities to sing. मुझे गाना बेहद पसंद है. मुझे गानों के साथ अगर मैं कोई गाना गा रहा हूँ, कोई और गाना गाना शुरू करे और मेडली तभी बन गई, that's a magical moment that I crave for. So yeah, in general, bus more music, spreading more memories.
Awesome. So you're a techie, right? And
Yeah.
one of my observations, this is not the first time I'm asking a guest this question, so I'll just let you know that up front. But I'm always fascinated by the overlap between mathematics and music. And I've noticed a lot of, pianists, they are very good in math. A lot of musicians are very good in math. What's your take on, because, science is very abstract, very, very like black and white, right? And music is, comes from the heart. But somehow music is able to, bring the two together. So,
Yeah.
uh, what's your take on it?
I think the thing that's common is spotting patterns. Patterns हर जगह है. Music has patterns, dance has patterns, art has patterns. So I think mathematics, maybe when you're sort of observing math at the very essence, it's a bunch of things that you've learned, and you're sort of doing a bunch of pattern matching of the things that you've learned. Music is not very different. The part that I really like about things like art is वो पैटर्न्स को हम कैसे अपने स्टाइल में कुछ नया क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. The thing that's helping me do that is pattern matching. I mean, you can also say there's a bit of sort of self-selection with like rigor that comes through studying academics, studying mathematics, science. So the rigor plus pattern matching sort of gets us to a place where एक base तो बन ही जाता है, but then you're actually trying a few things. You can systematically sort of go through a few ideas. So I'm sure there's probably a much more profound answer to that, but I think just at the end of the day, just patterns. Yeah, experimentation. There isn't one right way of doing something, and then a trial and error sort of a mindset is what we've learned when we've done science. Music is no different. Experimenting with some new feel to something. कौन सा काम कर रहा है, कौन सा नहीं काम कर रहा है is trial and error.
And that in itself is very profound. I mean, you said there might be a more profound way of saying it, but I think you hit the nail on the head by saying the pattern and coming up with a pattern to create music and a melody is probably where the overlap takes place. Yeah. So, coming back to the Bay Area, so the growing Indian population, a lot of Indians there. So, what is the taste like when you go to mingle with the Indian diaspora? There's so many choices, right? We live in the US, but I think there's something that maybe it's because we're conditioned, right? Because we've spent time in India and we come from Indian families. There's something very unique, I think, which is different about Indian music, and I often wonder: is it my bias that makes me feel that way, or is there actually something more to it? What's your take?
I think there are two things. I think Indian music seems like a contrast in a world that we live in the Bay Area or in the US in general, which is a contrast from what we generally hear. Like radio khole, there's a bunch of English music that's playing, different genres of English music. Firstly, I just feel like contrast always seems interesting. And secondly, I think even more importantly, is preference memories or nostalgia mein jude hue. I've grown up listening to Bollywood music. I've grown up listening to my parents playing Kishore Kumar at home. So there's a lot of that subconsciously drives what you are motivated towards. So I think there's a bunch of that, right? Whether it's a singer, I recognize that singer. Koi naya gana hai, to it immediately sort of, the core I think is still memories and nostalgia, right? Whether it's I watched this movie with my parents, if like my cousin who's grown up in the US was conditioned to a lot of Bollywood music through my uncle. So unke liye bhi a lot of this is mostly because of memories and nostalgia. So I think that plays a huge part.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, from what you're saying, is like music just takes you to a different place, right?
Exactly.
And be it past memories or through whatever. Even if you're listening to a new song, it's sort of like the lyrics will probably bring things that you would not been thinking about to the fore, right?
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
it provokes thoughts and emotions for sure.
You hit the nail on its head. Exactly right. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. So are you working on anything like creating your own album or recording your own music?
एल्बम तो नहीं है फिलहाल, तो एक गाने से शुरू कर रहा हूँ. we will see how that turns out. मेरा दोस्त है निखिल. Nikhil और मैं, we just got together and we said कि हम तो काफी covers कर चुके हैं. Like I have like 50 plus videos on my YouTube channel, but it's never been about creating something myself. My form of expression has always been constrained by redoing something that someone else has done. So एक कुछ बातें हैं जो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ. I've tried to pen it down. हिंदी गाना हम बना रहे हैं, so let's see how that turns out. We'll try to present it to the world. And पहला गाना है, काफी बोल चोक होगा, but eventually if that leads to us having an outlet to share our inspiration, nothing like it. I would also love to sort of turn this into a platform. अगर मेरे, I have a lot of friends who are a bit microphone shy in a way. I would love for this to be a place where people come together, are recording things, and I want to amplify those voices. So that's one of my goals. The other goal is create something, if that connected with someone, that is a small little impact that I've had on the world. If redoing something, if singing Kasto Maza Hai Relama, touched your heart, that's it. Aur kya chahiye? That's it. I think if I can have a little bit of, I can connect with more people in the world through the medium of music, that is success.
Yeah, and I think more than anything else, music has that power, right?
Right.
Yeah, it transcends a
Right.
lot of barriers. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
so when do you think you're going to be out with that song?
I think एक दो महीने में आ जाएगा. एक दो महीने में आ जाएगा. And apart from that, I do want to do sort of weekly, every couple of weeks मैं कुछ रिकॉर्ड करके अपने YouTube चैनल पे, Instagram पे देना चाहता हूँ. I have a huge support system of uncles and aunties all around the world who are family friends who we've gotten to know. So the act of sharing something, getting their feedback really motivates me. कि ये, like my father forwards that song to his friend circle. My mom forwards that song to her friend circle. Like, it is just so inspiring. It fills me with a lot of energy जब वो देखता हूँ कि if I can keep doing that, whether it's through proper recorded music, because the goal is not to become a Bollywood singer. वो तो है नहीं. That ship has sailed. उतना talent भी नहीं है और वो time भी नहीं है. But if I can put some things out there with recorded music, even if it's not something like I genuinely don't know how to play an instrument. अगर मैं कुछ record करके, what I like to do of late is just interesting pattern matching. Again, goes back to it. Like मैंने एक video दिया था कि एक बात है जो, if a lover is telling their other significant other कि like मत जा, stay here with me. I feel like emotions like that transcends languages. And I sort of found 4 different songs that had the same exact thought. I'm working on another idea here. Again, I was listening to some songs and the observation was completely different cultures, not even English, not even Indian languages, have the same exact emotion. So sort of creating something original from an original observation of sort of finding pattern matching is also something that I feel people will connect with. The goal is, what will people actually connect with? क्या और सुनना चाहेंगे? So that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, if I can keep doing that, it feeds me. It feeds my drive to try to keep trying to create something new, trying to keep something original, try to find a creative outlet. That's all to life.
Very well said. And the thing is, you are right. I mean, the more I'm listening to you, right? Like you said, you came up with an idea, it's already been, packaged in a different way, perhaps. Somebody from another culture. And I think that's the power of music, right? Is it really transcends culture, language barrier, and sometimes even, like I've heard songs I don't understand what they're saying, right? And there've been some songs that have been very popular in India. Um, they're different languages. So, uh, yeah, it's a very unique. Music is very unique in a lot, a lot of different ways, and it
Right.
can really completely sort of change your mood. I mean, I can tell you when I see patients and I have a tough day, that's what I go to reset my mind. So, thanks for doing what you do. Can't wait for your song to be released. We'd love to have you back. Uh, and and
Absolutely.
and actually, what you describe, what you want to experience with other musicians, we would want to hear from you. How did you go through that process of writing the song, composing it, and then releasing it? Because there's so many steps
Absolutely.
that I mean, I don't know, and it takes a lot of effort.
It does. Again, I don't know if what we did was the right thing, but I'm happy to share my journey if it's interesting to anyone. I'd love to share the journey. कि कैसा हुआ, if it turns out good, what were the things that actually, what were the 100 different decisions that we had to take before we presented something. Uh, we can share our journey. सही है गलत है वो तो that's for others to decide. But yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, so thank you. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, often when I meet some artists and, they put in so much effort and it's not been received in a way they would have wanted, right, by the audience. And then I always ask them, did you enjoy doing this? And they said, yeah, I just had such a great time. Then I asked them, say,
Yeah,
isn't that enough? Why does anything else matter, right? So I mean,
exactly,
that's just my perspective, but I understand that,
exactly.
it's yeah. But I mean,
I
just
think Dr. Saab, like
yeah,
the thing is, if the pressure of it actually needing to become a viral hit is not there. नहीं है, like that's I have a different life. I have a I have a completely different journey. This is purely to feed the soul.
yeah,
So अगर process में मजा नहीं आएगा, if everything is sort of outcome based, then it becomes a lot more anxiety inducing. वो है ही नहीं, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता मुझे. If I enjoyed recording something and putting it out there and I learned something on the way, 1,000 people liked it, great. That's all that I care about. Again, the process of that is interesting. It's not like the hits do help. I'm not saying that. There's one song that we recorded, which is there's a song called Chandni Raat by Ali Sethi. We have like 33, 34,000 views. Absolutely helps. But वो गोल नहीं है. अगर वो
right.
गोल हो गया, then becomes a problem. ये क्यों नहीं काम कर रहा?
A very cliched saying, right? Like, it's the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely, I
You look for,
100%
yeah,
agree with that.
yeah, yeah. Okay, very,
Absolutely.
very, very wise outlook on your efforts, and very inspiring as well, because I'm sure you have a very busy schedule. You're busy at work, and then to carve out time to feed your soul. Uh, it just shows you have your priorities right.
Well, something, whether it's, can it be better? Yes, but this is what's working for us right now.
Yeah,
देखते हैं. Always looking to learn, always looking to connect, always looking to grow.
great. So one last thing before we wind up. I don't know if you work from home or you drive to work. Um,
A combination of both. I
yeah.
go into work, but it's an unusual commute for me. I drive to the marina and take a ferry to go to work.
Got it. So what do you listen to most often?
Oh, very interesting. Well, it depends. A lot of the times I'm actually working while I'm on the ferry, so it's usually always a instrumental playlist, either Most often it's an A.R. Rahman instrumental playlist. So it's something, again, nostalgia aa raha hai, something that's playing that keeps me in the zone while I'm working, right? So yeah, A.R. Rahman ji is a magician. Can't say how does he do that. I don't know. I hope to find out, but that's it.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we will have you back soon with your
Absolutely.
release of your first song. And I'm really looking forward to it. Wish you the best. And thanks a lot for your time. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Parag ji. Thank you.